Birth of a Nation. Now, I haven't had a chance to talk about Birth of the Nation much on this show, and that's been intentional. I've been avoiding the conversation about the movie from Nate Parker, where he gives the account of Nat Turner, the Nat Turner Rebellion, which is expressly about, it's about the use of religion to oppress and the use of religion to throw off the oppressor. Like it's directly the life of Nat Turner is completely about a black slave preacher who was taught to use religion to make the slaves be docile and placid. But when he read that same exact Bible and he read it from the eyes of justice, it led him to leading a rebellion where, I mean, how many people was it? 50, 60, 56. I mean, hang on. How many people did they end up killing? 55 to 65 people estimated that they killed. All right. Before I go off and talk about Nat Turner and about just his role in the black history, for lack of a better word, there's a more convincing word, a more definitive word that I'm looking for, but I can't think of it. The reason I haven't talked about the movie is because of the controversy surrounding Nate Parker and his acquittal, his rape charge and subsequent acquittal, and the unfortunate suicide of the young woman that he was accused of raping. She committed suicide many years later. But there are a lot of conversations being held about that, and rightfully so. And the questions about his involvement and just not even involvement so much then, but handling it now, and the culpability and his responsibility to addressing rape culture in America. And I tell you that I'm going to talk about that on the bonus show. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about that in my closed closet of supporters, very close supporters, because I avoided it for a lot of reasons. And, you know, because I have a lot of feelings about it, man. I feel some kind of way about it. I feel really angry about the rape culture in the United States. But at the same time, this story is so important that there's so many Americans who do not know this story. And this is a great opportunity for America to be exposed to a different side of slavery from, I mean, we get a lot of slave stories, but we rarely get this story. Like we're taught this in passing. I remember when I taught middle school history for like a year. I don't know, 2 years. I lose track of time of years, but it was a passing reference. It was literally one line out of a 300-page history book, the reference to the Nat Turner Rebellion. Not only the historical perspective, but it's a very important story from the role of religion perspective. Because too often in America right now today, religion is back to being used like it's been used historically. It's been used as a tool to make people docile and complacent and subservient. And religion, the most recent iteration of that is what Eddie Glaude Jr. of Princeton University referred to as the theology that's perfect for neoliberalism. The prosperity gospel, right? That's where black religion has gone after the last 40 years. It's like this perfect gospel to make people, all they want to think about is how they can get money. and how the only reason they don't have enough money is because they didn't pray hard enough or they didn't give enough money to the church, right? Just like the meritocracy says that the only reason you don't have money is because you didn't study hard enough and you didn't do the right internship, et cetera. You know, it's the perfect religion, perfect theology for neoliberalism. And so this movie with Nat Turner presents this fascinating take and introduces back into the American conversation the radical role of black religion, particularly black Christianity, and the liberation theology and the theology of the viewpoint of looking at the Bible and seeing the progressive as well as the revolutionary message of a socialist Jesus. You know, the liberation gospel is like a religion that would eviscerate this neoliberal economic system and the neoconservative foreign policy, hegemony abroad, empire abroad, and domination for money, and the intersectionality of those issues with social issues, and the liberation gospel has been one throughout American history, particularly the black liberation theology, has been one that pushed revolution. And that's, Nat Turner wasn't like a liberation theologist. He was a slave who read the Bible and saw that the Bible was demanding justice, and the Bible called for justice. And actually some quotes here from his actual journal. Turner said on May 12th, he said, he heard a loud noise from the heavens, and the Spirit instantly appeared to him and said, the serpent was loosed, and Christ had laid down the yoke, and he had borne the sins of men, and that he should take it up and fight against the serpent. For the time was fast approaching when the first should be last and the last should be first. Right? So he's taking this interpretation of the Bible, this reading of the Bible, and saying it's time for us to tear this system down. I mean, who's using religion for that today? Whereas we have the evangelicals trying to use a religion as a bludgeoning tool, as a tool of oppression, to keep rights away from the LGBTQ community, to keep rights away from women, to maintain the systemic oppression that we still have, that's still the vestiges of slavery and Jim Crow. They're using religion as a means of continuing this. And they give black communities this, you can get rich quick if you just pay enough to the church and you pray hard enough and you wave your hands hard enough. They gave us this opiate for the masses so that they can silence this Nat Turner styled revolutionary spirit. And that's one of the reasons why, and I'll talk about Nate Parker and his role in the bonus show, but most assuredly, this is something that America needs to be reminded of. More importantly than just America in general, it's like the black church has a significant grip on the black community. So much so that it drives people like Dr. Umar Johnson, and others from the Hotep community. It drives them crazy, right? To see that the black church has this dominating influence on black politics, black economics, and black conversations. And I can't say that I disagree with this anger at the black church, because where have they been? Where have they been during the Black Lives Matter movement? Where have they been during all of these years? Where too many, not all of them, there have been some glimmering, shining examples of what you can use organized religion for good. But the most part, they've been collecting money in churches and building bigger churches and buying bigger homes and buying fancy cars and releasing albums and buying the fanciest suits and getting their tailor-made suits. So I understand the irritation and the agitation and the aggravation with the black church. But Birth of a Nation, if you don't see anything else, go see that, because I want people to see the role that because here's the thing. Here's the last thing I'll say about it. And I can't believe it's almost time to get off the air, right? I honestly didn't think I was going to do a full hour. I thought I was going to do 45 minutes tonight. Here's the thing. If you're waiting on religion to disappear, yeah, good luck with that. Religion ain't going nowhere. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. And even if we manage to get rid of religion, you just made it stronger by trying to get rid of it, right? When you try to suppress and oppress something and erase something, you're inevitably going to make it bigger and stronger, right? So since religion isn't going anywhere, and I'm saying this because I have like a really broad audience. I have people who are religious and I have people who are just like militant atheists. And even they know that I am religious myself, or I'm a Christian. I can't say I'm really religious, but I'm a Christian. But since religion isn't going anywhere, it just makes sense to me that we remind people of the good that can be done with it. Because if we don't, then we're going to always be battling people like evangelicals and the people like the Catholic Church in Poland and all of these institutions that have significant amounts of power, and they wield that power to keep groups marginalized for whatever scripture they're interpreting that day. Whereas Nat Turner read those same pages and focused on the ability to use religion to set people free, not from just this metaphysical spiritual oppression, but the very real oppression that comes from colonial, white, patriarchal, systemic oppression. So Nat Turner, Birth of a Nation, go see it. And if you want to know my positions on Nate Parker and this whole incident and the nuances of it, I'm going to have that close conversation with my patrons because I want to keep that close to the chest. And if you want to become a patron, go to patreon.com/the BPD show and become a contributor for like $3 a month or something. Buy me a coffee, one coffee a month. All right, folks. That's it. We still have about 4 minutes left, but I think we've covered and done everything that we need to do. So I will. Tomorrow is a full hour bonus show. I'm going to address the Nate Parker issue at the top of the show. So that's going to be the very first thing that I address tomorrow. Patrons, no bonus show tonight. The bonus show will be the full hour bonus show on tomorrow. I appreciate you. Could not do it without you. And I will see you next week.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.thebenjamindixonshow.com to register for our blog, join the Progressive Army, and support The Benjamin Dixon Show. It's Ben Dixon! If you like this episode, be sure to share, like, and subscribe.
Consider becoming a Patreon. Go to www.patreon.com/the BPD show and support The Benjamin Dixon Show.